at this pivotal moment in world electoral history, a chaotic new force has emerged. Generative AI tools can produce content instantly that is completely believable, undermining our ability to tell real from fake, true from false. So that makes us vulnerable to new forms of intellectual and emotional manipulation, as AI-targeted information tells us exactly what we want to hear. And that information might be completely different for you compared to your neighbor or your colleagues or even your families. So this global crisis of representation challenges our existing philosophical understandings of truth and even the idea of a shared consensus reality. When voters can't tell if something is what it seems, democracy itself faces an epistemic collapse. Now, at this point, we've all been through election cycles with social media, and we've seen the impact that it has had on our democratic process. But in many ways, social media was just a distribution pipeline. What is coming is much, much bigger. Let me suggest one way that this is going to be different. This year, the people building generative AI systems also control the platforms that distribute those AI outputs. For example, Elon Musk is building his own AI chatbot, and he owns Twitter. And of course, Google has Bard, but it also has Search and Gmail. Now, before this point, algorithmic promotion of fake news and misinformation was always a problem on social media. But those platforms didn't make the content themselves. Now the people who own the means of AI production also own the distribution pipelines. And Elon Musk is a really good example of why this is a problem. Because after he acquired Twitter, he upended its entire verification system, disbanded the trust and safety teams, and welcomed back people onto the platform who had been banned for sharing violent threats and conspiracy theories. Well, now he's making an AI chatbot called Grok that could create even more misinformation and abuse. But it also generates a lot of clicks and attention, which drives monetization. So whose interests do you think Elon Musk will protect? For me, this underscores the troubling reality. The measures that we have to combat misinformation, which are essential for democratic integrity, are increasingly subject to the whims of billionaires whose systems are generating the very content that they are expected to eradicate. The concentration of so much decision-making power into the hands of so few, especially on platforms that are essential for public communication and elections, well, this goes beyond the usual threats of deep fakes and false claims, because it places enormous control over the flow and regulation of information with those who have a financial benefit to promote generative AI. So their priorities, shall we say, are not aligned with the public interest. In other words, the foxes are guarding the henhouse. So this is why governments are more important than ever. But right now, many governments feel under-equipped to challenge this transfer of power to AI companies. For example, while the EU passed the AI Act in 2023, in the US, the AI regulatory environment is very weak and anemic, with companies just voluntarily agreeing to self-regulate. And this is why we need wider international coalitions that can respond at scale.